All right, guys, here we are, and we're back in the world. The world's ending. It's just gonna end. Okay. I don't know if it'll be today. Probably won't be today. Probably won't be tomorrow, but it's gonna happen probably soon. I think the world will end within 4 years of Joe Biden dying. I think that'll be kind of like when Joe Biden dies. That'll be kind of like all right, everything's kind of getting started, or the party's getting set up. All right, you know what I mean. When he dies, we party set up the end of the world. So the devil's got to move some things in. He's got to do the balloons. He's got to send the invites. He's just doing all that shit. He's picking out a venue. He's figuring out who's gonna be his right hand man. You know what I mean? Who's gonna be the door guy? Who's at the bar? Who's making sure the presents are there? And when Joe Biden dies, that's when we're starting. All right. And then when the Pope, I think the Pope, I don't know. Here's the thing, okay? Because for years, not years, for a little while, a long time, I've had this, I was like, oh, people predict when the world's going to end, right? Because in 2012, I thought the world was going to end when I heard about it, and I was super fucking scared. Who fucking does that to people? Who's like, yeah, I know the world's going to end, and I guess now I'm that person. But the truth is, I'm not telling you I know anything. This is a theory. This is something my brain came up with because I wanted to question it. I want to know. I want to know when the world's going to end because if the world's going to end sometime in my lifetime, shit, I don't really want to do all this other shit. You know what I mean? I don't want to, worry about other stuff if it's ultimately not going to matter. You know what I mean? And ultimately it won't because I'm going to die anyways, but that's not important because at least I'll be older and I'll need the money and stuff. But if I knew right now the world was going to end in 5 years, I would just completely change the course of my life. And I think most people would. So it's good to have maybe a little feeling that the world could end, have some grasp. And holy shit, just bad shit's happening. But here are my original. Because I thought about this before AI was fucking able to recreate people, and we all thought Joe Biden was Jim Carrey in a costume. Remember when people thought that? Oh, God, last night I had some really bad acid reflux. You know what I'm talking about? Ever had that? Or heartburn. I think it's Indian people have it a lot. It's a big Indian thing. Listen, it's okay if I do it in not a racist way, right? Is that true? You can do Indian accent, not racist. I just want to know if I do a good Indian accent. That's the other thing. Because I don't want to do it and be racist. I want to do it justice. You know what I mean? But I think I do a good Indian because we used to, or we still do. There's still an Indian fellow who runs a convenience store down, just walk down by my house, and back in the day, me and my buddy, we'd walk down there, and my buddy told me because I moved into this neighborhood, he'd been living here for a little while, he knew the stomping grounds, and he told me the name of the store was Habib's. So I go in there and I'm calling the place Habib's. I'm telling anyone the place is called Habib's. Then I come to find out that it's not the name of the store. The store is called 811. You know what I mean? It's one of those knockoff or Magic 8 or it's something like that. Something with an 8 in it. So then I think, oh, the guy's name is probably Habib. Nope. No. He just called it Habib. So like the guy's a racist, basically. What I'm saying, the person who told me is a racist, and then I was racist by proxy because I was just going around telling everyone like, oh yeah, this place is called Abib's, and I'm sure people were like, no, it's not, and I'm sure people were like realizing that the guy's name wasn't even Abib, so they were just probably like, oh, this guy is just a terrible person. So yeah, that's some stuff I did, but it's all right, I think. No harm, no foul. One time, my sister was in that store and it was getting robbed, and the guy who now I just do call Habib because I've never got his name. Habib was just like running around with a baseball bat, like attacking the attackers. It was cool, I guess. But anyways, going back to why I think the world's gonna end. Here's why. Um, and it's really you'd have to only be me to come to this conclusion because of the way I was getting this information. It was like almost like the way I was getting this information, like it actually mattered. Like it doesn't. It's never affected me. But I heard about my dad was like fascinated with this place called Magigoria, which is like basically, or it's not the place, but there had been like it's like one of the most recent places of like a miracle where like the church had been disputing the Catholic Church because they weren't sure if it was real or not. But anyways, let me just give you a breakdown. So Magigoria is basically just these like 4 or 5 kids who Mary like appeared to, and they would uh like this would happen multiple times. And then there's one lady who like still does it, but they would do all these tests. I mean, listen, you'd have to look into more of this because I know really nothing about it besides like the information I was looking for when I was a kid, where everything I thought like was true. By the way, I was like, oh wait, this is all real. And I listen. I'm not a doubter. I believe in all sorts of fucked up dumb shit, but yeah. But anyways, they did tests and like they proved it that it was real. But who knows? And one of the ladies, and like again, you have to look into this. One of the women who's still doing this, Mary said before she dies, she's going to give the world 3 warnings. And I think that is scary. I mean, again, listen, it's shit like that. I mean, I don't know. I've never had Mary appear to me out of nowhere that no one else can see but only me. And if someone did tell me that, you probably would think they are schizophrenic. And that's like something that's like the thing is, even if you could like come to me and you were 100% telling me that really happened, I would still. There was no way you could convince me. I really can't. There's no way. And it to be 100% true. Now listen, I'll believe you. I could feel like you believe it, and I want it to be true, but in terms of like 100% belief, it's not there. You can't believe in something, but I would hope. I would hope you're telling me the truth, and I would. Listen, I would say more like benefit of the doubt is what I give whatever people, because like it's such a big lie, and like so this woman, like crowds come out to watch her fucking pray. And I shouldn't cuss. I'm sorry, cussing while talking about this, but crowds of people come out to watch her pray. Um, so there's some validity to that, but it's like also cults exist, so you have to look at things from every angle. You can't really just believe it, but I think it was interesting. So I heard about that, and um, then I heard like this other fact that there was a saint who who had predicted all the popes that were to come. Yes, what is this turning into? It's like a little religious. I've been feeding my brain with all sorts of religious and philosophical knowledge recently. I don't know why, because I feel like that's the only thing that I should like really is kind of ultimately going to be that important at the end of all this. You know what I mean? Wouldn't you kind of agree though if you really sat and thought? Because listen, here's what I'm saying. Don't you think it's more important? If you dispute, let me know. But don't you think it's more important to worry about, or not worry, but like to try to like grasp that aspect of life? Because I feel like that. I mean, or it's because it's either the most important or it's the most useless. Because if you die, well, it's only useless in this one instance. If you die and nothing else happens after this, you could consider it useless if you really didn't care. The other thing is, I find it interesting, and I do kind of care about it, which it's more like something I just am interested in. I'm going to keep looking into. Like if the secret to the universe was knowing every player on the fucking Green Bay Packers, I probably would not do it. I probably wouldn't achieve heaven if that was the goal because I'm just not that interested in it. But no, I think I think there really is nothing else as important as trying to figure that stuff out. Now, could I be wrong 100%? But I don't know. I think if you could figure out, the ultimate religion or something, wouldn't that just simplify everyone's life? I don't know. Anyways, sorry. The priest. Oh, gosh, I'm getting so off. These are so stupid. But anyways, end of the world. It's happening. Maybe, probably not. Here's why I think it is. Anyways, this saint was not able to, but he was like predicting all the popes, and we are currently on like in terms of like numbers, we're on the last one. Like ever since he predicted, there's been a pope. You know what I mean? And we're on his last like prediction lines up with this current pope. But let me go back because there are some disputes to this too. Like when I read about it, because I was like, okay, that's creepy, and I'm like, why is no one talking about it? But then I kind of, because I was like, especially if you're a Catholic, because here's my problem with Catholics. They're like, oh, that shit doesn't matter. It's like, here's the problem with Catholic people. And I get it. There's different denominations. So, like, some people just, like, don't even believe in the other shit that you believe in, which is also crazy that you're stemming from the same thing and don't even have the same beliefs. Like, one of you has to be right, and I'm sure they all think they're right. So, but no, I just think disputes are crazy. The more diverse, like, and that's what they want to whoever, I don't know who. Like everyone likes to say that's what they want. That's what they're trying to get us to do. The overlords. No, the overlords are getting us in a. Quite frankly, I'm pissed. But no. I kind of lost my train of thought, so I'm just gonna shut the fuck up. We're going back. I lost what I was talking about. Oh yeah, why? Here's why. Um, People don't really take into account this Saints predictions, or why like it could be disputed is, so each time he predicted a pope, he would just say like a phrase or something that would describe them, and they were just saying like kind of in the middle of his stuff. It wasn't very accurate descriptions. It was like uh, it just didn't line up to the pope. But then I also saw that the ones closer and closer, they were saying they could see like connections. But again, that is just one person. Scary stuff still, that a saint who here's what a saint means. The Catholic Church recognizes them uh, to have some spiritual power and connection to God. Like if you pray to them and a miracle happens, that's like they'll be blessed, and if it happens again, they're saint. That's how it works. So the church recognizes that this guy has performed two miracles or has aided in them after his death, and then through his life had this prediction. I don't know, creepy stuff, but also in the Bible they're like they'll never be able to predict the end of the world. But the end of the world could also not specifically mean like that this is the last pope. Also, in the Vatican, there's like slots for all the popes, and they're painting, and they're at the end for St. Francis was like took up the last spot. There's no more room. Does that really mean anything? Probably. Probably means that the world's gonna end, right? That's what I think. But no, but so as a kid, I learned about all that pretty young. Like probably when I was like middle school, I kind of was like interested in Medjugorje. I'm like, well, that's weird because I was like, God, why don't you just fucking appear to me? Because I don't know if I talked about this, but one time when I was a kid, because I was strong in my faith. I was a strong little Catholic boy. Rambunctious. I always made fun of the priest with the accent, but and I'd be like, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Come on. But anyways, but that was pretty good too. I could be a priest. And let me go back because I wanted to test out the Indian accent. Because I don't want to be racist. I just want to see, is it good? If you came from India and had to learn English, so you still had your accent, would you sound like this? It's not racist. Remember that. And this is important for everyone to understand. I think it's awesome. I wish I sounded like that. I know that might be a racist statement because it's like, I'm sure there was a time where, but see, now I can recognize that. And that's important too. Recognizing. Remember this, people. This is going to be on the test. I'm the teacher, and I'm going to test you at the end of time. That's what God says to me every night. No, I'm kidding. Let me go back. This is off. This is nonsense. Indian accent. Oh, terrible. Okay. Indian accent. I'm going to cut maybe when it gets good. But thank you. Come again. Oh, thank you. Come again to my store. God, it's so hard now. I swear to God, I can do one, but like right now, it feels racist for some reason. Because I guess there's no real need to do it. I mean, I guess there never is a need, but sometimes when you're telling a story, I guess it's important because I'm painting a picture here, and you got to do the voices in the story, and but there's no story there, so I can't do the accent. But there was a story when I sang like the priest, so okay. Moving on, but so as a young child, I learned about this. Yeah, I was telling a story about how when I was a kid, I had broken my phone, and I had broken my phone a lot. I'm a very, casual person, I would say. Maybe not careless, casual. So I was kind of casual with the safety of my phone, and for most of the time. So it would break easy, but this time it was like the most. I literally had just got it, and it broke like instantly. Like I didn't even do anything. I didn't. It did not deserve to break. I was angry. I was hurt. I was like, God, why? Why me? Why? Even though my life is pretty awesome, but as a child, you don't realize that. So you're like, God, why have you chosen me for this horrible, God-forsaken path? But then I was like, maybe this is a lesson that God's trying to teach me. Not a lesson to take better care of my stuff or, maybe take responsibility. Because I mean, to be fair, this was not my fault. I will not blame myself. But I took it as a chance to have faith in God. I thought that maybe that was a test to put my faith in God. So I was like, my phone broke. What can I do that would prove that I'm putting my faith in God to fix the situation? So I buried the phone and prayed to God because I was like, this is God's move. Let me, something dies. You wait 3 days, it's all better. Okay, this is a true story. Oh God, I can't believe it. So I bury the phone. I wait 3 days. Like, yeah, don't touch it. I really believe, like, I mean, it's more like I'm hoping that it works. It's not like I, I know for fact. I mean, I do believe that it is gonna work. I believe it in my heart that the phone will be restored to its former glory. Wait 3 days, dig it up. Phone is now worse. It's wet, covered in dirt, like on the insides and the cracks. Like you can't even charge it anymore. Um, um, and actually, what had happened was I got a new phone, and this one still worked, and we were gonna turn it in. It's like an exchange thing. So that's why this was like my dad was. Yeah. It was even more worse because like it was. I had taken care of the phone all the way through until I got a new one, which I'd never done before. So I hide it, and so I'm supposed to send this phone in to get returned, and they kept returning it the phone back because it didn't work. It wasn't what the standards were. But I still, they still needed, the compensation back from us, or we had to get billed. So they called my dad. My dad's like, "Did you send it in?" I'm like, "Yeah." He argues with them. They end up dropping it, like, because my dad really did. Because here's why it was good. My dad really believed it was gone. So when he was arguing with them, it didn't matter. Apple doesn't need any more money. Let's be honest. They are terrible people. Make my life easier, but horrible. Horrible company. Grateful to all powerful Apple though. And we get it off. My dad forgets about it, and this thing is hiding. Now I still have the phone. It's hiding in a box in my room, like this old toy box that no one would have any reason to look in. But one day I just look up and my dad is in my room looking in the box with the phone covered in dirt and shit. And yeah, it was not pretty. It was very not bueno for me. But, you live and you learn. I will never bury a phone again in hopes that it resurrects. But yeah, so when I tell you the world's going to end, keep that in mind too, that I'm also an insane person who believes in the most fucked up, retarded things. And you know what? I know you're not supposed to use the word retarded, but come on, guys. That is the only word to describe what I was doing. There is no other word to describe what was happening than, you know what I mean? The R word. And I'll just say R word from now on, because now that here's the problem. If you acknowledge something that you did was wrong, you can't go back. Now you can forget, but now that I've acknowledged it, I'm stuck. I cannot say the R word for the rest of this time. Now, next time I can, because maybe I'll forget about this whole thing. Because I don't really care, and I don't think it's a big deal, but I understand people do care. So I'll probably not say the R word the rest of this time, and I'll probably say it next time because I'm not going to remember. And I'm probably going to be happier next time because I'm being more free. That's the other thing. If when I now I'm censoring myself. I'm keeping myself from being my truest, honest self. And that's what they want. That's what the overlords want. And that's what they're tricking people into believing. They're tricking people into believing that being yourself is wrong. There's only one way to be. There's only one right way to be. And it's either trans or accepting of trans. And I'm fine with that. I don't think trans people even like themselves, but we're not going to get into that. Because if they did, they wouldn't try to be like. It's like trans people want you to almost forget. Like if I was trans, this is what I would do. I would like, hey, forget it. Forget I exist. You know what I mean? Like all people. You know what I mean? Like that's what you really want. I think trans people kind of got it mixed up. You know what I mean? You don't want recognition or power or glory or anything because ultimately you're gonna get fucked. You were in a good spot. Actually, probably not. Let me go back. You probably weren't in a good spot forever, but there are good spots for you. I don't care. Come hang out at my house, but don't go in. Oh. What are you doing? Who are you talking to? This. Oh, are you filming a? Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted. Well, now you interrupted, and I was on a real good roll there. Sorry. It was actually really good. Podcast. Fine. Yes. No. I haven't like used them all week. God damn it! Fuck women. This is why I hate women. Hey, real quick. So if you weren't paying attention, women just walked in and now they're interrupting. What, quite honestly, was probably one of the best thoughts I ever had, and it's even worse as it looks bad because the thought I did have, I forgot, and I know it's a pretty intense subject. So now it just is. And you know what the thing is? I'm leaving all this in. I do not want to cut. The only thing I'm cutting out is like silence. Everything else I'll put in, because that's the only way we can restore democracy. And I think they're gone. What was I saying about trans people? Um, the thing is, trans people adopted the women's philosophy. If trans people adopted the men philosophy, they would have been over. They chose the wrong gender to change to. Because if they had just trans, oh well, yeah. Seriously, no one's. I've never heard one person complain about the trans women becoming men. No one. I've never seen anyone complain about that because they did it right. Now I'm hitting gold here. Now I'm hitting a truth. Here's what we're gonna call it. Listen, more. You hear that? Yeah. I'm gonna add that, but that noise is the sound of a truth alert. Okay. And here's the truth. People don't care if you're trans, and I've never even heard of one of a trans man before. No, I've heard of them. Like I know they exist. Like a woman who transitioned into a man. I know they exist, but you don't hear about them. You know why? Because they did it fucking right. Because they realize once they're a man, they don't want to go out there fucking complaining, asking for all this shit. That's some gold right there. Um, I don't know what I'm really saying, but the fact is there that we know trans women and trans men exist. Yet the only people you really hear complaining, because here's what you're doing: taking a woman and making her a man. That's good. That is that's probably improvement. You know what I'm saying? This sounds so terrible. No, but it really is because if you can take, it's almost like when a woman becomes a man, you're taking the best parts of both, and making something good. And this is gonna sound so terrible, but please don't take this the wrong way. Trans women or whatever. I don't know what. Here's my question too. I want to know if you. It's just so tricky because here's the thing. As a man, I don't care. If there was a woman who was claiming she was a man, I guess I wouldn't really. It's all about trans people. You need to stop yelling at men and start yelling at women. It's all the women's fault that people are discriminating against you trans women. It's a woman on women thing. And it's because women hate women and women kind of hate men too. So who are they going to hate the most? The woman man. The one, and I don't want to call you that. I'm sorry if that's rude, but it's just I'm calling you that so you can understand what I'm talking about, not because that's how I see you. I'm helping other people understand. Um, yeah. Um, but it is important. Listen, the only it's I'm another truth alert coming right here, and I said it, but I'm saying it again. Truth alert, truth bomb, truth kamikaze, truth Hiroshima. Here it is. The biggest roadblock for trans rights is women, and that's all I'm gonna say. It's evident the biggest issues are over like women's sports, which women don't even give a fuck about. Women don't give a shit about them. The reason women's sports, I think every women's team should have at least one trans athlete. Let's see. I bet the stadium would at least get a little more full because listen, women don't give a fuck about anything they do. They only want to fuck over other women or be the most powerful thing in the world. Women just want power. They're like everyone else. They're like men, but they're better at it because women are better manipulators. It's just the facts. Um, I love women, and that's the problem. I wish I didn't. I wish um uh I didn't because they can just get things from me because of their just that they're a woman. They can take things away from me. Um, and they're not really taking it. It's more like I'm giving it to them because they are a woman. If they didn't exist, I would. Um, I don't know. I'd probably have more things. I'd probably have my more of my own things. And I would probably feel less doubt and sadness. Women, and that's just because I have sisters. I mean, let alone the rest of the female population that I have yet to been succumb to. Just the ones I'm already surrounded by um, take the will to live away that I just can't imagine. Like inviting more women to be in my life would just sound like hell. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We're fucked. The world's ending, and let's get back to that because I told you why I thought it was ending. But we can all see that's just my if you're going to connect it to religion, why this would because you already know the world's ending. Everyone's getting their everyone's getting their stuff. I'm going to tell you the exact moment the world's going to end. Here's what's going to happen. The beginning. It's going to be in the cage or the Coliseum or wherever. It's going to be in the Coliseum of um wherever the Coliseum where Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg are fighting. Elon Musk is going to kill Mark Zuckerberg in the fucking ring. He's going to snap his fucking neck right at that time, at the exact same moment in Cairo at the pyramids. Travis Scott is going to release his new album, and a portal from to hell is going to open up. Yeah. After that, I don't really know, but that's going to be the start. That like it's literally going to be like snap, same time, sicko mode, bam, boom. You know what I'm saying? That simple. Have I had any visions or anything like that? No. Do I believe this will happen? Yes, I do. I do believe that will be the mark. See, and even then, the Mark Zuckerberg, he's going to be the mark of the beast. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but regardless of all that, um, is this world going to shit? I don't know. I think maybe not. I'm actually, you know what I'm hopeful for? Um, America 2024. I think if we make some right moves there, we'll be fine. Here's what we need to do. I think every American, I think we're just uneducated. And I think we're confused. I think we all want the same thing, which is, everyone to have the same opportunity, everyone to be happy, everyone to be healthy. Um, yeah, we just want everyone to be together, fighting for each other. Oh, yeah. What? Nothing. Doing this thing, but huh? Am I trying to make a box?
No, move the box.
No, I was filming a thing. But yeah, I'm done. It has to be over now. Well, no, Katie walked in like not too long ago, but I've honestly been doing this for a while. Yeah, I'm gonna come outside right now after I finish this. All right. Yeah, I will. Let's see what I mean. No, not really. I mean, it really wasn't a party. I don't know why there's so much alcohol. No, yeah. I mean, it was like probably 7 people max at the house. I know. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really drink at all. No, that's what I mean. Women destroying everything. All right, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'll continue my thoughts next time because this is over. God damn it! Fuck women. Fuck trans people. I'm out. Just kidding. I love them. I love them both. I love everything. All right, now it's time to watch a great little video. Each week I want to watch like some video. One to maybe give you some insight into what I would find entertaining, funny, enjoyable. 2, I just think it's a good little thing to have. It's just something. Maybe we can all learn and grow together. That's another thing. And the third thing is, I have a third thing. So we're just gonna get into this video. And I'm just gonna give you no context. If you know Bill Maher and his podcast, great. You know some stuff. If you know Richard Dreyfuss, it's even better. I didn't before I saw this, so it's really interesting, and we're getting into it right now. Come on.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Do you remember the show we did together?
Which one? The Funny You Don't Look 200? Or...
Okay, now as you watch this, I mean, it only downward spirals, and maybe that's a great, even better word for it. This downward spirals, and I just want you to keep a look on Richard Dreyfuss and his own personal physical downward spiral throughout the interview.
Your show.
1987.
Yeah.
Your show about the Constitution.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you seen it at all?
I saw it in 1987. I mean, since then, no. Have you?
Yeah, shit.
Oh.
A lot.
What are you, like Norman Desmond?
La da da
I
da.
was being sued. I was not being sued. I was suing them, or I was
Suing who?
Disney.
Disney?
Yeah.
What they do to you?
Something. They called, the same lady called and said,
Now, I don't really know what else is happening in this interview. There's only one really important key factor, and it's really just in Richard Dreyfuss. So I'm sorry if you get bored, but I swear to God, if you keep watching, there is a payoff. And if you don't want, skip here, and this video's over. Because I can see how some people will be like, what the fuck are we doing here? Are we just going to watch this guy watch this without commentary? And that might happen, but we're going to continue. He sued Disney. Not important. Let's go.
okay, so we're going to start.
What? What did we do? I still don't understand the gist of this story.
Well,
What did we do wrong?
I did 11 films for them.
Okay, but now they're suing you.
No. I was going to sue them.
Okay, it's Hollywood. It's the 70s. People are doing quaaludes.
Here we go.
Men, women.
Right.
No one was
Just
holding a gun
who
to the
sits
head
like
of
that?
women. Generally, Bill Cosby and rapists accepted.
We have to talk about him for a second.
Bill Cosby.
All right, honestly, I just thought of a great idea. I'm just gonna every time it changes the seat, I'm gonna sit like that. So, we're just gonna start.
Yeah.
Did you know him?
Sure, I did.
How'd you come to know him?
Well, first, my partner Judith was a very old friend of theirs as a couple.
Okay.
But I also knew something else, which was that he was the most prominent of the upper level guys who dated beautiful girls. And at that moment, really, there was no difference
This is
between
terrible.
him and what he did with his girls.
Well, he was married.
Yeah.
This
he
is
was
terrible
married.
Okay, well,
segment.
you're not supposed to date when you're married.
I'm
I've
keeping this
heard.
all in, by the way.
My parents came to the door of my apartment and they were going to take me out to lunch. And the door opened, they stood there, and then they closed the door and left and never stepped in. Wow. And because they just went, right, oh, no. I did 11 films. I always, one way or another, fucked up and
Really? I mean, working on the set?
no, I was at my apartment. My parents were going to take
This
me
is
out to
horrible.
lunch.
I'm sorry. Let's make this a little faster.
They stopped. They took one look at how messy my apartment was, closed the door, never mentioned it again, and they were, as parents, completely appalled.
What do you think about when you masturbate, Richard Dreyfuss?
I never thought about my mother.
Why
And
not?
I never thought that if I had thought of
What a great
mother,
conversation.
incestuous thoughts. Do you have a sister?
Yes.
Did you ever give her what we called a movie actor kiss? Yes.
No. Oh, God. Please. I love my sister.
Did she ever ask you?
No, we didn't even like each other when we were kids. We were like two. What?
Of course not.
Yes. No.
You
no,
stopped that
no,
hostility
we're not,
under a white flag, and you literally
No.
said, "You want to do a movie star kiss?"
we're not weirdos like you.
I was the villain that fucked over the Jews from the stock market, and billions were lost to this one guy.
By the way, this is a great conversation between them. I'm just gonna have to cut around between myself because I'm so boring. But here,
So the thing was, when they took my daughter, who took the aliens? When they took my daughter,
Really?
yeah, what do you think happens to kids when they're 12 years old?
They start with the low level criminals. And
all right. I did all that, but we're gonna restart it. All right, I filmed a lot that I'm not gonna put in, but all right. Each week I kind of like to look at a video or something special really that I think everyone can enjoy. It gives you a little insight of what I like. Maybe we can all learn together. And this week I have just brand new sitting techniques that I found. This great video from Richard Dreyfuss in an interview where he just shows off some really great sitting techniques. So we're just gonna start that now, and we're gonna try them with him.
start with the low level criminals and work their way up to the big fish.
Sorry, and now, sorry about that. We're starting now.
People just ignored it
Right.
if the wife did not make a stink.
So here's a little
interesting.
taste.
Yes, you're right.
Maybe we can test that one
Right.
out.
We're gonna take this is like four dumb guys. This is my apartment on 8th Avenue, over a bus stop, 55th and 8th in New York City. Okay, in 1979.
When you read Shirley Temple's book, Shirley Temple, when you read her book, you can read between the lines of an enormous, a scandal that never unscandalized.
She was abused.
Yeah, in Russia, the worst thing that had ever happened to them until the Holocaust.
But there were many pogroms. This is probably just the worst.
You have to say that you're happy that you've been invited and you'll be okay with it if I hold it over my head. Chooses 1, 2, 3, critically. 1, 2, 3, done.
First thing I gotta say is this is greatly uncomfortable. I don't know why he's doing this. I don't really know who he is. We're just gonna continue.
Like that.
I think space aliens did come. I think they took you.
I like.
I don't know.
See now, I think you should have a pillow. I guess that's probably what he was doing. It seems to be more like this now. So you gotta get in this position. I guess pillow helps. Let's try it. All right, and there we have it.